Why you should take a social media break right now. Welcome back, friends. I'm just coming back from a 5 month social media break, and I want to share some insights with you. Here's why. I feel for the last 3 years, I'm constantly in this hate-love relationship with social media, right? On the one hand, I understand as a business owner, it gives me the opportunity and possibility to connect with the whole world. On the other hand, I am also a woman, a human being, a soul. And every time I'm on social media, especially Instagram, it was never like, oh my gosh, I want to feel greater. Let me go on Instagram and see what's happening. Or I'm like, oh my gosh, I just spent an hour on Instagram and I feel so good. This was almost never the case. So for literally the last 2 years, I've been constantly struggling. There's the business owner in me, and then there's Janine, the soul in me. So who's gonna win now? So this time I really decided I'm going to take a break from social media. It all started with let me just take a break from podcasting and see what's happening. And when I have this impulse of hey, it's time to come back, I'm going to do this. Hello, Viola. Catching me live. And I had the same with social media. I'm you know what? I'm just going to retreat. And when I have this call to go back, I'm going to do it. But not just this impulse, have an impulse to come back on social media, but really coming back with, hey, this feels true to me, as in this is the content I want to post, I want to share with the world. I have a message for you, and it's important to share it. And I found myself, and maybe you can resonate with this, being really disconnected from my heart and being so much in my head with it has to be the hook, it has to be the CTA, it has to be this and the structure, and you tell them about the problem and then you have the solution and And again, there is the business owner in me, right? And also the person that has studied so much about premium pricing, premium positioning, and on the logical, and I fully understand this. And then there's the soul level that's really saying it's cute, we understand it, but your brain just doesn't operate like this. I don't think in hooks. I don't think before these are the 3 things I'm gonna share today. The way my body, my soul works is I have an impulse, hey, gotta go live and gotta share this. And I'm speaking from my heart and soul. And at the same time, sometimes I have an offer I'm telling you about, and sometimes I don't. And this approach, just following my intuition, following my impulses, following my heart and soul, always allowed me to receive insane financial results. Made my first $1 million in sales within the first 12 months. We've made over $15 million in sales in the first 5 years with a relatively small audience. And even now, when I took a 5 month social media break, we still sold like crazy. So again, what I've learned and what I want to share with you is, first of all, you're always connected to the creator. You're always taken care of. It is a limiting belief that sales have to come through social media. It is a limiting belief in my world that I only have to be online and be present in order for sales to come in. For me, those 2 things are very disconnected. As in, sales are coming in no matter what. And if I have a potent, powerful message to share on social media, I'm gonna do this as well. But it doesn't have to be connected, no matter what the world is telling you. The other aspect in the last years I've dived in a lot is really my astrological birth chart and my human design. And while I will never be a person that's teaching you about human design and astrology simply because I'm not drawn to it. I'm a former investment banker. I'm drawn to money, to business. Like, this is where my desire is. This is where like my heart starts beating. However, I love the astrology aspect in the sense of, let me go there and let me see what are my natural gifts in a way, right? So just looking around in my kitchen. So there's this beautiful Smeg refrigerator. When we got it, obviously it comes with what? A user manual. When you get a new washing machine, guess what? It comes with a user manual. Even like a sofa you purchase, it comes with a freaking user manual. For everything in the world, we are having user manuals, right? Social media, selling, building a business, growing a business. For everything you kind of find plug and play templates, user manuals, 5-step approaches, etc. But have you realized there's no freaking user manual that says, Viola, this is your 5-step approach to be yourself. This is a user manual for you, for who you are. So those last 2 years, and especially the last year, I did go really deep in the rabbit hole on really finding out who I am and reading my own birth charts and human design charts and really changing this or adopting all the information in my charts to my business, right? And while I think it's super important and I love it, it's not where I'm passionate about. And that's exactly why we've built Janine GPT. So she's been trained by over 3,000 hours of coaching I've done in the last 8 years. Plus, you upload your birth chart, your human design chart to her. So every business question you have, you get fully personalized support based on your birth chart, based on your human design, not my success strategy. Because so many of us, and hey, been there, done that, we see somebody that has results that we desire, and let's say they became successful at podcasting, so we're thinking like, oh my gosh, gotta start a podcast. We see them making big money by selling $50,000 offers, so oh my gosh, I want to be that, let me do the same. Instead of going back to our birth chart and seeing, am I actually meant to build and create a business like this? And the answer so often is no. It's just like in a relationship, right? That we are always most attracted to the polar opposite, right? I clearly can see why I'm so attracted to my husband, because we're polar opposite. It's beautiful. Also creates like tension in a good way, right? And while I personally believe in relationships, it's very healthy to have this polar opposite energy, like because it keeps the attraction strong. We have to understand that the same is true in a business world, right? I am attracted to the person who does the polar opposite of what I'm supposed to do. So I'm attracted to, I'm a 2-line in human design, and if you know what you are, drop it below. I want to know, I want to connect with you. So I have a 2-line in my chart, and most of the business coaches out there are 5 lines. Really, they're striving in look at me energy, big audience, big visibility. It's beautiful. I'm not saying anything's wrong. It's just those people are naturally striving in this environment. So as a 2-line, I'm the polar opposite. It's very important to hermit. It's much more important to go deep instead of wide, have long-term client relationships. And what happens, right? Naturally, I'm attracted to the polar opposite, to the 5 lines, which are in this like, I'm always on stage, look at me, everybody, like building a big audiences. I had to understand it's actually and unactually not my sole desire. It is just attraction. I'm like, ooh, this is different. I'm attracted to it. So I really had to go back those last 6 months, especially of asking myself so many questions of who am I really? How do I desire to build a business? in a way for the very first time that is naturally giving me energy. Because before I had a business that was taking energy from me but was giving me a lot of money. And there comes a point, and that is a different number for all of us, all of a sudden money can't compensate for happiness anymore. Money cannot compensate for your happiness anymore. Where all of a sudden it matters much more how you make the money instead of how much you have in the bank. So I really had to rebuild my business based on my design, and also get crystal clear with what are my values, what is my definition of rich, and really seeing them like, and I think this is a part where I was scared, and maybe you are scared too, because I found so many definitions I just personally didn't agree with, coming to very simple things. Obviously, my definition of rich, right, is I love making money, big money. I love having big money in the bank. But then so many people expected from me to always purchase designer clothes. And don't misunderstand me, I still love them. However, there is a part of me that I find it much more important, follow the money, right? Like, who's the owner of the brand? What is the material of the brand? I don't like fake materials on my body. I love natural materials, cotton, silk, cashmere. Like, I don't like anything polyester, any fake material. So I learned a lot also, like actually what's inside the clothes, like what am I putting on my body is much more important to me, the material, than the brand. The other aspect, this is really going back to my investment banking roots, like who's the freaking owner of the company? Like, who and what mission and what values am I supporting with my purchase, right? Because as buyers, we are powerful human beings. So if you're in the US, it's really an app I love. It's called the Buyer app. It's by Ian Carroll, and you can scan, and you're not only seeing the ingredients, but what you're actually seeing, who's the owner. Because personally, I have no desire to support the big corporations, the Nestles, the Starbucks. It's just personally, there's nothing right or wrong, right? But this is important. This is my definition of richness, supporting the brands I truly desire and care about. And that is family-owned businesses. But in order to actually know which brand is family-owned, how are we going to find out? It's just not transparent enough very often. So this app, highly recommended to you. It's called the Buyer app. Super important for me. Then always came this pressure of beauty, right? Like, gotta look beautiful, get your hair done, get your makeup done. And I was in this like pressure loop, and to be honest, I realized like my definition of beauty is so different than what the beauty industry is teaching us or showing us, or society. I'm like, my goal is actually to get a natural great skin that I don't have to use any hair, any makeup. Like, this is my personal goal. I want such amazing skin to use no makeup. This is my goal, right? Then the next part is like, yeah, and then which cosmetic like products are you using? Like, which mascara and all the brands and everything. And I'm like, again, it's not important to me that it's a Dior or Gucci lipstick just to say, oh my God, look at me. It's much more important to me than what is in the freaking ingredient. Like, what is inside? What is inside of the cosmetic products I'm using? So for me personally, there's again no right or wrong, right? But it's just my definition of richness and what I desire to support with my energy, with my soul, with my being in society. It's more important to me that my cosmetic products are not being tested on animals. I think there is no need. I'm not saying anything right or wrong. That's just my very personal opinion, right? I personally desire products that are not tested on animals. I personally don't see a need for that. It's much more important for me to understand the ingredients in all, like in lipstick, in nail polish, etc. And what I found out really by scanning the freaking products, that very often the cheapest brands have the less poison ingredients. So this is my definition of richness, and very often I felt wrong, like I don't fit in. I'm like, why is she not like showcasing the rich lifestyle, the rich brands? I'm like, because what's important to most people in society is simply not important to me. It's not my definition of richness. So I felt I diminished my light, completely honest, because I felt I'm not rich. It's very ridiculous, but this was really my belief. I felt I'm not rich because I'm not living the rich lifestyle society teaches us we should be living, or we should be even valuing. And I valued polar opposite things. And this really created this inner conflict where I thought, I'm like, what am I going to share? So let me do the 3 tips and the 3 da-da-da, and here's how you can do da-da-da. But when it comes to business, and clearly also something I can see as a gift of mine, a natural gift of mine, I believe in ease. I'm here to really make everything so freaking easy. I don't have this typical client avatar. If it's so many things in the business world you should be having, I just don't. We just don't have it at Rich and Happy because I don't believe in it. There's a part of me that deeply, like when I have this impulse to go deep into strategy, I'm going there. And also, this is where it becomes so important for you that want to know who you are and how you're supposed to build your business. Now you're looking for the strategic advice that will work for your design, right? Instead of, I'm attracted to this, right? You're always going to be attracted in business to the polar opposite. You're always going to be attracted to the business module, to the mentor that is polar opposite of you, because it's like in a relationship. And this is causing a lot of harm for us, and this is also causing a lot of money we've invested, aka didn't invest, we spend it and it's gone. And then something happens that, man, I've invested, I've spent this money and I haven't seen the results I wanted to. I don't get it. Why? Because I'm always going to be here reminding you, before you do anything external, go internal. Meaning going back to your birth chart. Before you take any freaking business steps, go back to your birth chart. This is your user menu. You find everything. It's mind-blowing, and obviously I've decoded this so much for all of you. Like, we can see on which social media platform we should be. Like, not as in a way like you can't manage the other platforms, but we have a natural genius, right? So we're naturally great, like one platform we're striving on. Then what type of content? Should it be videos in Instagram's case, right? Videos, carousel posts, short captions, long captions. There is not this one-fits-all approach. It's a lie. It's very unique and we can see it. Not all of us are actually meant to have high ticket price points. Many of us, we can see this in your chart, you're here for a certain price point. We actually can see the number that, how to say this, is like your natural sales magnet number in a way. I don't know a fancy term for it, but we can see the price point. And it's so mind-blowing, right? So if there are any 2 lines, drop it 2 when you're watching the replay or now. So I would love to know more about you. Maybe you share your sign with us, your zodiac sign, or you share your human design. Like if you're like me, 2/4 generator, you know, would love to get to know more about you. It's really mind-blowing. And the thing is also, we were talking in our team, once you know who you are, it's just life becomes easier. Because all of a sudden, it's like everything makes sense. The lessons you had to learn, the lessons you are learning now, how you're evolving, how you're just like one unique puzzle piece. And all of us are part of this big puzzle, right? And imagine, we couldn't be having a big puzzle if all the pieces are identical, or if you would try to copy. Every puzzle piece is unique, so are you. And this is your reminder that you're special. You will never fit in a box. It's a lie. Your business is going to be unique. The way you make money, the way you're supposed to share your gifts is so unique, is so special. And instead of looking and hoping that somebody has a shortcut, a 3-step approach, I will remind you now, over and over and over and over again, in my very own rhythm, that go back to your birth chart, go back to your own user manual. It makes sense, right, to look in your user manual and not somebody else's. Stop copying. Stop looking for a shortcut. The shortcut is always that there's no shortcut. I'm back on social media. I'm really excited. The podcast is back, the Rich Woman's Podcast. If you haven't listened, highly recommend it. You just can comment a podcast below and we send you the link. And let's chat soon.